Are we breaking down the camera, sir? Are we breaking it down? Okay, we gotta stop filming. Let's move back.
How'd you get here? Right before you guys got
next to me or no?
Were actually not in pursuit, that they had gone into tracking mode when the deadly crash occurred. We're about 400 feet away from the scene, which I'll mention.
What's that, bud? Okay. No, I mean, I don't. Yeah, let's have Ileana flying overhead next to me. So basically, everything you told us is correct. We have an update on the track. We have an update from what you just heard there. Again, tracking mode is when the LAPD goes overhead because it is just we typically saw basically the size of the suspect. I believe that the distance increased on the streets out here in Panorama City. They lost sight of the vehicle and they were in that area and the vehicle were observations. That's why the officers did not arrest Chief Hamilton, thank you very much. As this investigation continues, we wait.
Okay, I'll start with my name, and I don't know, is anyone here on live?
No, sir, no.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's Alan, A-L-A-N, Hamilton, H-A-M-I-L-T-O-N. I'm Deputy Chief of the Los Angeles Police Department for Operations Valley Bureau. And I'll be providing a brief information regarding an incident that occurred here tonight that originated in the Foothill Division. Okay, so is anyone not ready? Okay. At approximately 7:45 p.m. tonight, Foothill officers responded to a radio call of grand theft auto suspects there now in Foothill Division. Upon arriving at the location, they identified a stolen vehicle and began following that stolen vehicle. The officers observed multiple suspects inside of the vehicle and requested additional units for the eventual attempt to pull the vehicle over. As the officers were following the vehicle, that vehicle began to take evasive maneuvers and try to get away from the officers. As those officers followed the vehicle, they requested an LAPD air unit in order to safely take the suspects into custody. After following the suspects for a period of time, the suspects tried to flee from the officers, and in the process of trying to flee from the officers, the LAPD officers initiated a pursuit. In the course of initiating that pursuit, they were waiting for the air unit to respond in order to go into tracking mode. As the pursuit exited the freeway and came into this area of Panorama City, the suspect vehicle went westbound, approaching Woodman Street off of Cantera Street towards Lanark Avenue, which changes right here at Woodman. At the time the suspect was fleeing from the officers, as the air unit came overhead, that suspect struck a vehicle that was going northbound on Woodman Avenue, and tragically, the two people that were inside of that vehicle have passed away as a result of that traffic collision with the suspects. Following that traffic collision, the driver of the stolen vehicle attempted to flee from the scene and was quickly apprehended by officers from the Foothill Division that were involved in the pursuit. The suspect that was a passenger in the vehicle was taken into custody without incident. There was a brief foot pursuit of the secondary suspect. That suspect was taken into custody following a use of force, and both of those suspects have been transported to local hospitals or in stable condition. Those suspects will eventually be transported for booking following their medical treatment tonight. Again, there was no use of force on the suspect who was the passenger in the stolen vehicle. There was a use of force on the driver of the stolen vehicle. He did sustain injuries as a result of the use of force, and that individual is currently being treated at a local hospital for those minor injuries. They are both in stable condition. I just have a little bit more. As a result of the traffic collision, we've requested the mayor's response team and the LAPD's Family Assistance Unit to respond here, and they are both here on scene. And we will be making a follow-up to contact the relatives of those victims and helping them at this time of tragedy. As you know, unfortunately, it's very difficult under these circumstances to safely conduct police work out here on the streets. We're going to provide every amount of service and assistance to these families as we can at this time.
Can you tell us about the victims, Chief?
We don't have any additional information on the victims at this time. They both appear to be adults, and we'll have more information on them in the coming hours.
2 men?
Yes, ma'am.
2 men victims, 2 male victims?
All I can say right now is 2 victims. We'll have more information shortly, ma'am.
What was the use of force? A taser or something? What was the use of force?
So it sounds like there was a combination of a taser and a takedown at the termination of the foot pursuit.
Did the driver stay in the car then, or did both try to flee?
The passenger stayed in the car. The driver attempted to flee.
Okay, and when it comes to this whole thing, before you went into the pursuit, what took place with this Grand Theft Auto, and how many you said suspects were involved? Was it just those 2 guys, or were there other people involved as well?
At this time, our investigation indicates that just those 2 suspects were involved. The radio call was initiated by a person in Foothill Division that thought there was a Grand Theft Auto occurring, and that was the call that the officers responded to.
And it was a female suspect and a male suspect, female passenger, male suspect.
I can't comment on the suspects at this time. We'll have accurate information shortly.
Chief, how fast was that car?
They have not been booked yet.
How fast was that car going? What are your investigators telling you about just how fast the stolen car was going?
I don't have an estimate on speed at this time.
Were you in tracking mode, or were there actual officers in pursuit, or was it just an air pursuit at this time?
So that's going to be part of the investigation. The air unit was not actually overhead yet, so we would not have been able to go into tracking mode. That all appears to have happened fairly simultaneously at the time of the collision.
Was the plan at that point, sir, to go, once the chopper got overhead, to go in to activate, tracking mode because of the seriousness of the driving dangerously and so forth?
Yes, there had already been discussions about going to tracking mode as soon as the airship arrived.
And it was a very brief pursuit, correct?
It
Both in length and time?
time-wise, it was a fairly brief pursuit. It lasted minutes.
So,
Yeah.
Chief, there was no chopper overhead. Were there officers then in pursuit of that vehicle, or at that point there wasn't?
The officers were in pursuit.
Okay. How many would you say? How many units?
At this time, it appears there were 4 units in pursuit and a supervisor.
Is there any possible drugs were involved in this? The suspect taken in drugs. There was reports that possibly the suspect ingested drugs before being taken into custody.
We don't have any information on that at this time.
Finally, Chief Hamilton, this is sort of, one of the things that everyone is warned about with these pursuits that, we watch and we're so captivated by, but this is no joke here.
So this is a very tragic incident. Unfortunately, we try to conduct these instances where we go in pursuit as safely as possible with all the tools that we have. That's why we request an air unit right away. That's why we look at going to tracking mode as soon as we can. But at the same time, we have to balance that with a community member who has requested the police department to respond because their vehicle is being stolen. Our officers were in the area, observed the vehicle, found the vehicle, requested additional units, and attempted to make the arrest when the suspect fled from the officers.
Finally, just
Yeah.
explain to our viewers, Chief, when the LAPD goes into tracking mode, that's because it is just too dangerous for everyone on the ground?
That's correct. So basically what happens, yeah, so the primary unit and the supervisor will make an assessment as to the conditions under which they're prosecuting the pursuit. If they make a determination that it's too dangerous, there are other tools that we can go to, including backing off completely. In this particular instance, there was already communication that we were going to go to tracking mode as soon as the air unit was in position to go into tracking mode.
So the minute the airship showed up, did they get into tracking mode, or was there not even time for them to get into tracking mode? They were still in pursuit when it occurred.
There was not time. There was not time to get into tracking mode. They came overhead just as the collision occurred. The investigation will make a determination as to the exact timing of that incident.
You don't have a rough age of the victims for us? I mean, are they in their 20s, 30s?
Unfortunately, I don't have suspect information at this time or victim information, but we will provide that to the public as soon as we can. We do not think any juveniles are involved at this time. That may change as information develops, but at this time, we believe all of the individuals involved in this are adults.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, everyone. And I think we do have Spanish, so if everyone can just stand by.